In the early 1980s, the United States military stood at a crossroads. For decades, its standard-issue pistol had been the .45 caliber M1911, a weapon that had served in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. But times had changed. Modern warfare demanded a sidearm that could hold more rounds, be lighter, and use an ammunition standard compatible with NATO allies. The 9x19mm Parabellum round was already the standard in Europe. It made sense to move forward. That shift led America's armed forces to Italy, to Beretta. The company's 92 series pistol, refined over years of production, entered into rigorous trials under the Joint Services Small Arms program. By 1985, after going head-to-head with designs from SIG Sauer, Smith & Wesson, and others, Beretta's updated 92F emerged victorious. The US military adopted it as the M9, signaling not just a new pistol, but a new chapter in small arms doctrine. The M9 was more than just another gun. Beretta built it with a clear purpose: reliability, capacity, and simplicity. The 92F, which would become the M9, used a proven recoil system, and its frame was strong yet relatively lightweight. Most importantly, it held 15 rounds of 9mm, a big step up from the old M1911. Its safety system was also modern for its time, a lever that served to both decock and lock. That meant a soldier could carry it safely with a round chambered, ready to fire if needed. The slide had an open-top design, which helped with feeding and ejection, reducing the risk of jams. For maintenance and cleaning, it was straightforward, a trait that made it well-suited for the often harsh conditions of military service. In short, Beretta didn't design a flashy pistol. It built a workhorse. Once adopted, the M9 was distributed across nearly every branch of the US military. Soldiers, Marines, airmen, and sailors carried it. It replaced very different weapons, in some units, older 1911s, in others even revolvers. When it first saw serious combat testing, the M9 was put through its paces. In Panama, 1989, it proved reliable in tropical heat and humidity. Later, during the Gulf War of 1991, it faced another extreme test: desert conditions, with sand and dust everywhere. Some complaints surfaced about the pistol's magazines in those early years, but many of the problems turned out to be linked to the quality of certain third-party magazines rather than the pistol itself. Over the years, the M9 would go to Iraq, Afghanistan, and other conflict zones. It was carried by military police, convoy crews, pilots, and special forces as a backup or primary sidearm. Its reputation was a mix, dependable, but not without criticism. Its 15-round magazine gave US service members more firepower than they'd carried for decades. The open slide and straightforward mechanism made it easier to strip, clean, and maintain. Over years of use, in every type of climate, the M9 did its job for millions of service members. By using 9mm, the US aligned with NATO ammo, simplifying logistics in combined operations. Some users felt the grip was too big, especially for people with smaller hands. Early on, there were reports of slide cracking. Beretta fixed this by reinforcing the design. The military's choice of cheaper magazines, from certain vendors, at times underperformed, especially in sandy environments. Compared to later polymer-framed pistols, the M9 felt heavier and less ergonomic. Over its service life, the M9 didn't stay static. Beretta introduced upgrades. M9A1, one of the first major updates. It added a rail under the frame for lights or lasers, making the pistol more flexible for tactical use. M9A3, a more modern variant, thinner grip, threaded barrel for suppressors, improved materials, and capacity sometimes bumped up to 17 rounds. But by the mid-2010s, a growing number of experts and soldiers believed that even this improved M9 would not keep pace with modern expectations. That belief gave rise to the Modular Handgun System (MHS) competition. The winner, the SIG Sauer P320, adopted as the M17 full-size and M18 compact. By 2017, these began to replace the M9 in frontline service. Even after being officially replaced, the M9 didn't disappear overnight. It remained in use in training units, reserve forces, and in roles where a reliable, proven sidearm was needed. The M9's legacy is deep and multifaceted. For many service members, it was the pistol they first carried on duty, the one they understood inside and out. It carried the salt and sweat of barracks, the dust of deployment, and the weight of responsibility. Its adoption marked a doctrine shift. The era of lighter, higher-capacity sidearms had come. The 9mm round became even more central to US military thinking. The M9 showed that a foreign-designed gun, configured thoughtfully, could meet American needs. Even though its replacement is now fully underway, the M9 story remains relevant. Its decades of service shaped how the US military thinks about sidearms. Its evolutions, A1, A3, taught lessons about modularity, ergonomics, and adaptiveness. In civilian circles, the M9 and its civilian counterparts remain widely known. It's a gun tied to a generation, a weapon that bridged eras, from Cold War legacy to modern operations. The Beretta M9 was never meant to be glamorous. It was meant to work. And for more than 30 years, it did just that. It carried the weight of NATO expectations, modernized US doctrine, and the trust of generations of service members. It replaced a classic, but not with nostalgia, with purpose. And when its service drew to a close, it passed the torch to a new generation of sidearms without fanfare. That, perhaps, is the truest mark of its success. In the story of modern US firearms, the M9 isn't the hero, it's the reliable companion. Loyal. Simple. Effective. A pistol built for service. And for that, it earned its place in history.